Hi everyone, it's Chef Robyn. I am so missing everybody at PCDS, but wanted to share a recipe with you. So it's something fun to make at home. So today we're going to make bread in a bag. And it's not bread cooked in a bag, it's bread that we make in a bag. So super easy recipe, lots of fun to make, and you just need a few simple ingredients. Well, the first thing, which isn't really an ingredient, is we need a bag. So this is a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. Then we're going to need 3 cups of flour. We are going to need 3 tablespoons of sugar. We are going to need dry active yeast. So make sure it is the instant, the fast acting yeast. We're going to need warm water, olive oil, and then I always like to add some things into my bread. You can do fresh herbs, you can do dry herbs, you can do garlic, you can make it a cinnamon raisin bread. So there's a lot of fun things that we can add later on in the recipe. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to open our Ziploc bag, and I am going to take my first cup of flour. So as I said, we need 3 cups of flour. I am going to do my first cup. This is a half cup measure, so I'm putting 2 spoons of that in. We are then going to put our 3 tablespoons of sugar, and it seems like a lot, but yeast needs food, and sugar is food to yeast. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and then I'm going to put my yeast in here. As I said, rapid yeast, put the whole bag inside. Once that is all in there, you have this bag of dry ingredients. So what we need to do is we need to feed this yeast to make it rise. So as I said, yeast needs food to grow. The other thing it needs is warmth and moisture. And the way we do that is with our 1 cup of warm water. So we're going to open our bag of our dry ingredients, the 1 cup of flour, yeast, and sugar. We're going to pour our warm water in there. After that, we're going to close up our bag, make sure it's fully sealed. Try get some of the air out as well. And we're going to hold it. I like to hold it this way. And we're going to squish. We're going to mix and squish until all that flour is incorporated into your water and yeast. From here, once it's all incorporated, it's nice and warm, we are just going to leave it on the counter. So we're going to sit it down, and we need to leave it for about 5 minutes. And what we're going to be looking for is some nice big bubbles to be forming in our bag. Okay everyone, now it's been about 5-10 minutes, and my bag has just been sitting, and I'm going to show you how mine looks. It's a little hard to show you because it's in the bag, but if you can see, there's a lot of bubbles that's formed in the bag. Now that our bag is filled with the bubbles, we're going to go and add in 3 more ingredients. So what we're going to add right now is we're going to do our 2nd cup of flour, and then as well our 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And we're just going to put these right into the bag. So flour goes in. So as I said, I'm using a half cup measure. That's why I'm putting 2 in. And I'm going to measure the oil. So as I said, 3 tablespoons of oil. So I'm pouring it right into my bag. And then here I am going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Now if you're going to make a sweet bread like a cinnamon raisin bread, I would skip the salt in this step. That way you don't have overly salty bread. Okay, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal up my bag completely, squeeze out the air. And what I'm going to do now is squish. I find it easier to do it while you're holding it, but if you have small hands, you can put it down on the counter and do it. And what we're doing now is essentially just mixing all the ingredients together. So you're going to squish, squish, squish until all that flour and oil and salt are all incorporated with your flour. So now everything has been mixed and combined in the bag, and I'm going to then open it up, and I'm going to put in my 3rd cup of flour. With the 3rd cup of flour, I'm also going to add any kind of flavors or things that you want in your bread. So here you would add your cinnamon, your sugar, since I sugar, raisins. I am going to make an Italian garlic bread. So I'm going to add my last cup of flour in. So that's my 3rd cup of flour going in. And I am going to put some dry Italian herbs in here because that's what I have right now. I wish I had more fresh herbs, but they're just not growing yet. About half a teaspoon or so. And then I'm going to put granulated garlic, about half a teaspoon or so. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal up my bag for the third time. We're going to close it all up. And guess what? We're going to squish. And this one's going to take a little bit longer because we need to get all that flour incorporated. So we're going to squish and continue to squish until all that flour is combined, and you will see that the dough is going to start coming away from the side of the bag. I've been squishing my bread for a little while, and can you see how the bag is coming clean and everything is coming off there? So what I'm going to do now is dump everything out, and we're going to knead our bread. Kneading is going to develop all the gluten, so that's what's going to give you that nice, chewy, delicious bread. So I'm going to put a little bit of flour just on my countertop. That's going to stop the bread from sticking. And I am going to open up my bag and dump the entire contents of the bag out onto my countertop. So now I've dumped it on my countertop, and I'm going to show you how to knead. The easiest way to do it, I found, is that if you fold it over and squish. This is a lot of squishing, this recipe. Fold it over and squish. Fold it over and squish. Fold it over. You're going to continue doing this until you get a nice smooth ball that you don't have a lot of lumps in there. And you're just going to keep kneading the bread for about 5 minutes or so, just until you get a nice even roll of dough. So I'm just finishing up kneading my dough, and you can see how it's a beautiful smooth ball of dough. And so what I'm going to do now, the next step of this, is that we're going to let this sit and rise. So I'm getting my bread tin, and I've already sprayed it with a little pan spray. I've kind of formed this into somewhat of a loaf, and I'm just going to put it right in my bread pan. Okay, now we're going to let this rise for a little while. So I would give it at least 30 minutes in a nice warm place. We did use fast-acting yeast, so it should work pretty quickly, but you're looking for this to almost double in size. We're so lucky living in Arizona that I can just go cover this with a little plastic wrap and go to put it outside for 30 minutes. So the bread has been rising outside in the nice warm sun for a while. You can see it's almost doubled in size. So I have, while I was enjoying a little sunshine and waiting for the bread to rise, I have preset the oven to heat up at 350 degrees. I'm going to brush the top of my bread over here with a little bit of olive oil just to give it a little shine on the top. And at this stage, if you want, you can sprinkle it with a few more herbs. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic powder on top of mine just to give it a little extra garlicky flavor. Now I'm going to put it in the oven for about 20 minutes. And when it's done, you'll have nice fresh bread. Your kitchen's going to smell amazing. Our gorgeous loaf of bread has come out the oven, and it looks beautiful. I sprinkled it with a little bit of those Italian herbs and the garlic. My kitchen smells amazing. So I'm just going to slice a nice warm piece of bread off over here. You can see how gorgeous the texture is inside. And this is going to be my little snack this afternoon. Can't wait to see where I'm back at school. See you soon.